Hey, well, welcome to the bench today. My camera guy's doing all right. Having a really great day. Hope everybody else is. Take a look at who all's hanging out. Hello, my brother Zach. Axiom, welcome. And Justin, Jam Pro Sound. Be sure to subscribe to his channel. He's just a super cool guy. Yeah, I hear you, brother. I know, being a lefty, man, that's tough. You've just eliminated a lot of guitars you could buy, but you have some pretty nice ones, Justin. I should say Jam Pro Sound. I should try and call people by their YouTube handles, right? Then people know who I'm talking to. With all you guys out there, hope everybody's having a really great Tuesday. Mine's been very busy, and I got started very early today. I sold my couch last night, and it was time to put on a clean shirt, so I did that. And I even took a shower this morning, brushed my teeth, and I finished putting my futon together in my new place, and it is awesome. My cat loves it. So day's going really good. I've already set up a cello and repaired a microphone today, and I got here about 11 o'clock this morning, so I know that's 3 hours, but we've also put away a lot of inventory, and we got some new t-shirts. The Teuton, if you play a Teuton guitar, I think we're about the only place in America that has them right now. They're hard to come by. So I'm going to just get started with basically what I do when a guitar shows up. Usually before I do the stream, I will test the guitar out and make sure everything works. So we're going to check that, and here is the beauty that is on the bench today. And we're not going to do a lot to this. I've worked on this guitar in the past. It belongs to a very good friend of mine, Don. He is one of the kindest people I know, and just really loves playing guitar. He's altered this guitar ever so slightly himself. With the red line around the pickguard. Normally that's white. but he colored that, and he signed his a name on the back of this. I thought it was actually Roots. If you look at the, I don't know if you can see that, but it's not. It's not Jim Root's autograph. So I'm going to start off by knocking some of the dust off of this thing. This is usually the first thing I do when I get a guitar in here. Not that I'm worried about getting dust on me, because I do anyway. And again, I hope everybody is having a really great Tuesday. Mine's been really productive, and having a great day so far, getting stuff done. Very productive day. So let's check this thing and see if she works. All right. That is stew tuning. When my journeyman stew tunes a guitar, that's what they sound like. Let's tune this thing up. Just real quick. I want to play this for a bit because just for a minute, kind of be able to pro and con what I'm going to do to this thing. I won't make you listen to me. I won't make you listen to me tune this thing. Has locking machine heads. That's really cool. Love locking machine heads. If you're going to change out the machine heads on your guitar and you don't put lockers on there, boy. Hardly a Jim Root riff. It's got EMGs in it. I'm just checking for the activeness of them. I don't believe they are active pickups. I don't know. Strat shaped object, I really want to grab a whammy bar. The thing plays pretty nicely and feels pretty nice. I think the intonation is definitely out on this thing. Yeah. Hey Richard, what's happening? I'm always late to your broadcast, so don't sweat it, bro. All right. I hear you, Justin. Zach, you play lefties too. That's right. That's cool. Okay, so let's get to business here. What we're going to do is on this Strat-shaped object, it's sort of a Strat-shaped, what is going on here? My camera guy's been drinking again. We are going to remove the strings, and we are going to change them from 10s, I believe. Let me double check. We'll see if they're 10s. I believe these are 10 gauge strings. He, over the last few weeks, this customer has, or friend, call him a customer, client, we'll call him a client, has brought a few of his guitars in. They are 10 gauge strings. So there you go. See, it says 10. It's a 10 gauge string. That's what that means. All right, so he's brought a couple of his guitars in and had me do some setup work on them. His was that beautiful Les Paul Standard that I worked on, and before that he had a Tom Anderson custom that he brought in, and he really fell in love with the lighter gauge strings. So we're going to switch this up to 9s, which means we're going to have to re-intonate it. And we'll adjust the truss rod and all that. This has one of the beautiful Fender 1/8 inch hex key that they put the truss rod just far enough in there so that every Allen or hex key that you buy is not long enough to reach it. You have to buy those Fender long ones with the red handles on them. It's kind of like Apple and their proprietary USB cables. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I have to put the truss rod, the wrench in there a little odd to get it to turn the truss rod properly. So we'll see if we need to turn that today. Probably will. I don't know 100%. But I'm going to try and make very short work of this. I didn't really think the guitar was holding tune real well when I played it right there, but I don't know how much playing time this guitar is getting. I don't know how much my buddy Don plays his guitar. And you guys, Don is such a sweet person. I hope that you all have an opportunity to meet him one of these days. If you end up here in the town, I hope that you might bump into him and say hello, because he certainly would say hello to you. Really, really cool guy. And I don't think Don doesn't, he's not like he's never played in a band or done anything like that with respect to his playing. He just loves the guitar and wants to enjoy playing them, so he's doing his best. And as a learning guitarist, your best friend is time. Spend as much time as you can playing guitar, and my advice to anyone who's learning to play guitar is, here you go. 2 things. When you turn your video game on, because I know you play video games, or you'd be a much better guitar player, that's your clue to pick up your guitar and play it, and spend all the time you'd be playing a video game playing your guitar. You'd be amazed how much better you'd be if you didn't play video games. The other thing is turning the television on. Don't watch TV. Anytime you turn the television on, that is your trigger to pick up your guitar and play it. It's something I instruct all of my students that I have to do, and I know I'm right, because I didn't have video games, cell phones, and I didn't watch television. We didn't have TV when I was growing up. I played my guitar and I loved it. So that's my advice right there. I'll leave it at that. So what we're going to do, let's just clean this thing up a little bit. We're going to kind of do, this will be very similar to a lot of the streams that I do with regard to what I'll be doing on this specific instrument. I'm going to get my wonderful semi-chrome polish out. I do this first, then we'll clean the fingerboard off and treat it with some linseed oil. And here's some remnants of the last guitar that I worked on, or the one before that, or maybe before that. Doesn't take much of the semi-chrome. This polish is amazing stuff. If you've got metal, even silverware that's tarnished, this stuff smells a whole lot better than Tarnex. I don't like the smell of rotten eggs much. And you'll pay witness to how good this stuff works right now on metal products. If you've got a car with chrome on it that you want that chrome to really go have some bling to it, some shine, get some semi-chrome. It's made in Germany. I am not sponsored by Semi-Chrome or anyone else, and I can't recommend it much more. And I'll give credit to Jerry Rosa for turning me on to this stuff at Rosa String Works. Go over and subscribe to his channel if you want to learn something about building guitars or mandolins or repairing them. He does an amazing amount of videos, and that guy is a remarkable luthier. If you haven't seen him yet, I highly recommend you check him out. You will learn something. He comes up with some really creative ideas for how to perform repairs and such. So just a super cool dude. And has a great YouTube channel. Very informative and very educational. Even if you don't like fixing guitars, he's kind of funny to listen to. And he's an archer who would have made the Olympic team, except for that, and that would have been back in the 50s, maybe 60s. He was in line to compete at the Olympics in archery. And unfortunately, he got himself on a, if you've heard the story, he got himself jumping on a trampoline, and he had an accident jumping on a trampoline and injured his shoulder or his arm, and there went his Olympic dreams. So there you go with the polishing of the frets right there. The last time this was in, it's probably been 3 years ago, before all the shutdowns and stuff happened, was the last time I worked on it. And I polished these frets with 2000 grit and gave them the good old Marshall shine, if you will. So they're looking nice now. I'm just kind of bringing them back to life. They were definitely a little worn. And if you have any questions, I'm going to do my best to look over at the chat here once in a while. I've got to stay busy here working on this guitar. I should be able to have this thing done by about 2 o'clock. Hello.
Hi.
What's happening?
Everything and nothing all at the same time.
I like it.
Imagine that.
All right. That was a good answer. I'll remember that one.
Thank you.
You looking for anything specific or special?
Just browsing.
Just browsing.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to at least 6 other people.
I was.
They're all in my head.
Yeah, because I talk to myself all the time.
That's good. Look at that. All this gut coming off of here. Holy smokes.
Good job.
What a mess.
Is that simple green?
Yeah.
Works every time.
It's great stuff. Best stuff I've found for cleaning a fingerboard on a guitar. Now I realize, guys, this is kind of boring to watch, but And it's not something you have to do every time you put new strings on a guitar, but in this case, it's been a couple years, I know. So I'm going that extra mile. This is a really beautiful ebony fingerboard on this one, man. This thing is just jet black. What a gorgeous guitar. They spared no expense building these ones. Slipknot being one of my favorite bands, I'm a huge fan of Jim Root. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, this thing is just it looks almost as nice as my Taylor fingerboard. I'm gonna say that loosely.
Almost.
Almost. All right. So we're gonna let that sit for a few minutes and let the simple green evaporate into nothing. And I will probably hit this with some lighter fluid and then light it on fire.
Yes.
That gets them really clean. What do you think? Falcro, how you been doing, man? I think I missed most of your... No, I was there last week. I missed Preston's live stream. I was doing other stuff last week. Actually, I missed quite a bit of yours. How'd that go? Axiom.
Oh, you really are talking to other people.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to say hello?
I thought everyone was in your head. I felt like I could relate.
Let's see, it's a PR5E acoustic. Okay. Sliding the tactile of the guitar set up like that. Only wouldn't work. No, that's not true. I wish I could show you, and I will bring my Gibson SG in and show you what a true ghost fret guitar is. Actually, I don't buy that for a moment. But just because a guitar is built a certain way doesn't mean it can't be altered to be what you want, and that's what it should be. And that's how I approach every single job that I do. Do you think I have 10s on my Les Paul because Jimmy Page played them? No. Do you think I run 9s on my Strat because I don't know who else used them? I don't know. I like what I like. I've leveled the frets on my Taylor acoustic, which removed some material off of them. So I say take it back to your luthier and have him do a fret level or a fret reduction was what I would call it. And you can get your minds out of the gutter. You can shorten frets on an acoustic guitar, and you know that'll definitely require.
I was gonna grab a ladder.
Oh, do you need my help, Mike?
I might.
Okay, I might have to go grab a guitar down off the wall here in a moment, you guys, and we'll put up some pictures of some pretty ladies. Okay, cool. All right, I like to hear that. I say if you have a request for guitar, if you don't like how it turns out, just have it refretted. That might cost you $200 to $300 if it turns out terrible, but it is the price we pay. It's a Gibson acoustic guitar. You probably paid $2,000 for it, I would guess. So I say set the guitar up the way you want it for you, and you know, your luthier might have a reason for that, you know, but that's a pretty big job, and depending on how busy he is, maybe he or she are thinking that the time consumption is too much. I don't know.
Am I
Mike,
being retarded?
what's that? Oh, which one are we getting?
The middle. Why is it sticking? Oh.
just
slow
not
killing
your
class.
brain. We got somebody in here looking at an acoustic guitar today. It's kind of cool. Boy, we've sold a lot of basses over the last couple weeks. So, yeah, actually, I'm on your side, bro. If you brought that to me and made a request like that, I would oblige you gladly. You know. So enough about that. You guys, again, I'm just doing the normal cleaning and polishing that I do on pretty much every guitar that I work on. Now, you might notice that this guitar is kind of shiny for a Jim Root signature instrument, and it's got a little divot here, and part of the reason for that is that the owner of this guitar had some I don't know, he had some traumatic stuff happen to him, and I'll just leave it at that. And he did some stuff to some of his guitars that he kind of, I think, regrets in some ways. I mean, he doesn't live in regret. He's a really sweet guy, but he had some markings and stuff on the top of this guitar, and they were so rooted in this guitar that we had to polish them out. And so rather than having a flat black finish, this thing now has a shine to it. And it looks really cool. It kind of has a rough look to it, really. And it's got dings all over in it. You know, you can, my camera guy's falling asleep on the job. The volume pot is usually white, and the edge of the pickguard is usually white, but he colored that red, and we left that because I thought it looked kind of cool. I wasn't sure that it wasn't part of the Jim Root signature look. I hadn't really looked at one. So that's the story with that. But yeah, the guitar's got some dings on it. Obviously it's got one right here, and if we look at the back and sides and top, it's got some dings in it. This is from wear and tear and use, and that's what's up with that. So here we are with this guitar all cleaned up now, polished nicely. Looks really good. All right, so we're gonna put some linseed oil on the fingerboard, and then we'll get strings on it and see what's happening with the neck relief and all of that. Let me get some stuff put away here. Let's get some linseed oil on it. And the cool thing well, it's not cool. The appearance of the neck is not quite as dramatic on a ebony fingerboard as it is when you oil a rosewood fingerboard, but they still look, it's still pretty neat to see the color kind of come back to it and become this really beautiful black picture. I love ebony fingerboards. It's way too much. Perfect. Wipe it on, wipe it off. That's all you do with oil. With linseed oil, do not leave it sitting on the fingerboard for very long. And the other thing is that ebony generally doesn't soak up oil like rosewood does. It's not nearly as grainy or open grained. So most of it comes off on a rag, or a lot of it does. There we go. Looking beautiful. We get a little bit up here on the one thing I've kind of found also in doing this stuff is that getting a little bit of linseed oil on the nut of a guitar, honestly, I think that it kind of helps tuning stability and lubricates that nut slot a little bit. I will use some, given the fact that I'm changing the string gauge on this today, I will use some Big Ben's nut sauce on the nut to get those strings to sit in there real nicely and be able to move when he bends, you know, does those 8-fret bends like good old Jim does. You get a bend from here to here, you can do it. And the guitar will stay in tune. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Just looks so much nicer. Rewind, look at it, now look at it. Let's see. Hey Preston, what's up? Preston's always going to be right back. He shows up and then he'll be right back. I love that guy. He has a fun show on Wednesdays where he plays along with backing tracks of bands that he loves. A lot of music from the 80s, hard rock, heavy metal. It's fun stuff. It's funny to listen to him, or it's fun to listen to him, because most of the songs that he plays on there I've learned and have forgotten how to play. So it's really, I have a good time watching his show. It brings back a lot of high school memories, at least for me. The 80s were one of the greatest eras of guitar rock in the history of music. Thus the long hair and the tight jeans. And the girlish figure, right? All right, let's put some strings on this thing. We're going to use some Ernie Ball Super Slinkies. Not really much else I can do with this thing. I am going to, real quick, let's get this down here. We'll get my paper towels out of the way. Sorry if you're getting seasick from the camera moving around. My camera guy's kind of likes to mess with people. I want to check the output jack, see how tight this is. Well, we are going to go ahead and pull that out of there because it feels a little loose. Well, don't tighten those nuts without being able to hold it. Now I do have Jack the Gripper, and I ain't kidding. Jack the Gripper. This thing's an awesome tool. And the problem with the Stratocaster is that you can't really get a wrench on that with using Jack the Gripper. It gets in the way. So my method is to pull a couple screws and check it. Somebody's calling. It's got a lock washer on there, just like I like. And I'm going to grab the back side of this and snug that up. Now that output jack won't come loose. I'm going to go ahead and wipe down underneath here. Get some of the guck out of there. I'm going to get a new rag. There we go. I don't think Don will mind me cleaning this thing up a little bit. I doubt he's watching today. He works. Believe it or not, some people actually still do work. Isn't that cool? I'm using a little bit of a Dunlop 65 to get rid of some of the guck on around the edge of this. There we go. I don't know what we're listening to in the other room, but I'm going to get a copyright strike. I got a copyright strike for, let's see, what was his name? Todd, whatever his name is. I'm so sick of that record I could puke, but and Americana music style in general, not a fan. I was until I have to listen to it every day for 6 years straight. But that's how you tighten up a nut on an output jack. It's an output jack. Okay, so we got that taken care of. Let me go see, hang on just a moment. I want to see if that's the... Okay. All right. So let's put some strings on this bad boy. The old Jim Root signature. Oh, where did you go? Well, we'll use this one more time. I remember setting this thing up the last time. This thing was a really sweet guitar. And again, we're changing string gauges on this, so we're probably going to have to do an intonation on this one. We'll see. Hey Tim, welcome. Yeah, and you can see on the, oops, I'm sorry, my camera guy's sleeping on the job again. You can see the back of this and kind of how the finish is kind of flat. The front of this looked the same, but again, the owner did some stuff to it and wanted to get some of the stuff that he did to it off of it, and it ended up having to be polished out. Whatever was used on here, we just could not come up with a way to get it off of the guitar without you know, using a chemical that would have potentially ruined the paint job. And so we ended up using a polishing agent and shined it up and made it all nice and shiny. So now the guitar just looks like it was a Jim Root signature guitar that's just had the hell played out of it. Like it's relict, I suppose, because it's all shiny. And flat black guitars are the only black guitars you should ever buy. If you buy a shiny black guitar, just go ahead and take your fingers and just put fingerprints all over it. And forget about ever seeing it without fingerprints, because they look, yeah, now you can probably see the top of this thing's got this shine to it, right? That is not necessarily what it's supposed to look like. I'm going to cut the end of this string. Remember, these are, yeah, there we go. Alright, so I leave a little slack in these, just a little bit. I don't pull them real tight. That way I can get a little bit of a wrap around the top, but it's not totally necessary to do that, but I like to leave a little room for, oh, and before I do this, I need to clean off the headstock here. I almost got away with putting strings on it before I cleaned the headstock.
Oh my God, he's so
Isn't that cool?
How you doing? Good, Phil. Doing all right.
All right, let's continue. Is that A? I'm saying that's A. You tell me. Was that A? That's definitely a fourth above what the interval was. I remember these being hard. Yeah, they have a, there we go. Uh-oh, knocking stuff on the floor. Let's speed up this process. Am I close? Well, let's see how close let's see how good my ear is today. Am I even close? Whoo, I was that close. It's probably closer before I adjusted it. I have really good relative pitch. I don't have perfect pitch. My D string was perfect. And it's kind of unfair because I've already tuned up a cello this morning, so I've already heard these notes today. And I played a little guitar this morning at about 6:30. Yeah, I nailed it. That's tuning by ear, mind you. Alright. So this is a real general basic setup that we're going to do on a Strat shaped object today. And so if you follow my steps, if you do this to your own guitar, you should end up with a pretty darn nice playing piece of equipment. And these are 9-gauge strings, so you want to be careful when you're stretching them. You can break these real easy. And here's my method for stretching the strings every square inch. All right. I'm going to do this really extra special good for Don because he's such a good friend of mine. He's such a sweet guy. And ladies, he is one hot fella too. The dude's really good looking. Fair warning. And I'm not gay. Just saying. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm going to have to make a music video coming up in which I portray a woman or a girl. Let's just use a girl. And we'll say a girl. So that'll be interesting. Y'all love that. I'm not afraid to take my shirt off in a music video, as you all know. Okay, so we've got the strings on here. We got our... Ooh. There we go. Better doing that without any tuner, I think. Faster. All right. So we got our 1/8" truss rod adjustment wrench, which I believe is too small. I think they should use a bigger wrench for that because they're just so small. Ooh. That neck relief is absolutely killer. That is awesome.
Yeah, just bring the. You could bring down the head, but if you brought down the entire cartridge, I could make sure that it's lined up correctly and stuff. So.
Got a stylus?
Yeah, if that's a hassle, just bring the head down.
Oh, okay. All right, so our neck relief is looking really good. And I kind of half expected that. So let's check our string height. Our string action, given this is a Stratocaster shaped object, we'll measure it at the 17th fret. And we'll see where we're at. Ooh, we're low. 4, 3.5, 3.5. That one's nearly 4. That one's over 4.
I might have to help me put on a cartridge today.
Okay.
And it's you've probably done them before.
I think so. On a record
turntable.
player?
Yeah, just the whole cartridge.
Yep.
Okay.
Done it.
All right. I used to do them all the time, but I looked at it yesterday and went, I don't.
Is it the one with the 2 set screws on it, or?
Yeah, there's 2 screws and then 4 wires on the back.
Yep. Okay. Done.
Okay.
Done a few of them.
All right.
Okay. Cool. I get to work on a record player today. That'll be fun. I've got 2 other record players that I'm in the middle of working on, but I wanted to knock this out for Dawn today. All right. So string action is looking a little bit higher than I'd like, but let's check the intonation real quick. Actually, before we do that, let me just check it for fret buzz. We've got such low string action here. Oh. There they are, buddy. I'm not a big dude. It's a small hammer, but it drives a big nail. Okay, let's just see real quick if we have any fret buzz. And this thing, Axiom, if you're still here, this thing has super tall frets. I know that you're not going to be able to really tell how tall these are. Maybe that shot will kind of clue you in on how tall these things are. These things are massive, massive frets. Can't think of any Slipknot tunes that I know the riffs to. Boy, this thing, I might be out of a job. This thing is set up really nicely. So what I'm going to do now is check the intonation. The string action on this thing is really nice. So I'm gonna put my tuner down here. Oh, we'll go ahead and put it up on the bench so you guys can see it. How's that? Put it right here. I'll try and set it where y'all can see what I'm up to here. Let's put a flashlight under it. How's that? Can you see the tuner? All right. So a real basic, again, a real basic setup today on this one. Boy, that's dead on. Whoever worked on this last was really good. Guy did a really great job on this. So I'm saying that one's a little bit sharp, and I always lean on the flat side of intonation versus the sharp side. I don't like having a guitar intonated sharp. Boy, this thing's pretty dead on. So we're leaning a little bit sharp, and the amount that this is moving is I'll be careful. I don't think a lot of guys would make an adjustment. That's so close, and the amount that is off is so minute. So we're still leaning just slightly sharp, so I'm going to give that just another little, just one little. This is what really makes a guitar sound good, especially when you're playing bar chords and getting in the upper register of your instrument. And I am going to be really super picky about this one. Dead on. Boy, whoever set this up last time really did a great job. I might know him. So the treble E string is a little bit sharp, so we'll bring that one back. And did I forget anything? Still saying that's a little bit sharp. I'm going to go ahead and shorten that a little bit more, or lengthen it a little bit more. I'm going to check them all one more time. That G string, I'm going to bring it back just a touch more. Sometimes when you make other adjustments, it will definitely whack other stuff just due to neck tension and things like that, string tension. It's good to double check. And it's really nice when you're working on a very well-built guitar how much moving the saddles will really change the intonation of an instrument and get it really dead on. The B string is a little bit sharp. And I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm not sure if you can or not. Oh yeah. And the one string I do not want sharp is the B string. That is a bad string to be sharp. Let's plug her in, see what she does. Let's see. Let's see how she sounds. Let's see, she's about done. And has my video, no, it hasn't frozen up yet. That's cool. My video decided to work today. That's great. I'm really happy to see that. I'm not quite sure why it was freezing up, aside from the fact that this is a really cheap camera. So let's turn that off. Hi Tim, welcome man. I haven't been paying close attention to the chat. So I'd say this Jim Root signature guitar is about done. It feels really nice. The string action is really great. I would love to hand it to one of you guys and let you wail away on it. So in my classic tradition, when a guitar is done, the last thing I do is cut the strings off. Never, ever, ever cut the strings off your guitar until you're done. And if you're just doing a string change, you're not doing enough. There's more that you can do when you got the strings off that thing. So, thanks you all for hanging with me today. I really appreciate seeing the usual suspects. I appreciate you joining me on my live stream and subscribing to my channel and being a mod. And oh, that reminds me, I've got to do some work. Okay, I got to do some work, guys. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Yeah, I'm gonna free my channel of moderators. There we go. Yeah, I think that'll do it. All right, you guys. Thanks for hanging with me today. My channel no longer has moderators. I'm going to go the opposite direction of everybody else, and I'm not going to have moderators anymore. If you'd like to share a song or have a suggestion, go ahead and write it in the comments, and I'll do my best to get it up for you. Peace, y'all. Have a great day. Cool. Ooh.